health, or if you're using them for your emotional health, you get, side benefits that are helping you with other things that may be going on by just supporting you overall.
I've never heard that, but Alicia, I'm going to steal that. That shit, okay. Side benefits, I'm going to use that. Side benefits is a win.
You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living. That is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid. Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Hey. Hello, you guys. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Swadik Mayanja, but you guys can call me Q. And this is another episode of the Everyday Hero Show, where I bring to you someone in your life or someone in my life that does good things for all of us, but does not get the credit that they deserve. Today, we have Alicia Caraballo.
Yes.
Okay, now can you please say for me, Alicia?
Yes. It's Alicia Caraballo in Spanish, but it's Alicia Caraballo. People pronounce it that way.
No. Say it in Spanish again one more time.
Alicia Caraballo.
Alicia Caraballo?
Yes.
That's close enough. We'll say, I tried. No, hey, appreciate it. Look, I tried. And Alicia, look, listen, you guys, when I say I bring people in your life or sometimes people in my life, this is a very personal issue because Alicia, she sent me a package, a care package, a goodie bag, anything. Look, we'll get there in a hot second, but Alicia, please introduce yourself to the people. Who are you? Where are you from? And why nursing?
Okay. So my name is Alicia Caraballo. I've been a nurse for 20 years. This is actually my 20th year in May. I just completed my 20 years of nursing. Little girl, I always knew that I wanted to be a nurse. My dream was to be a nurse, to help people and to travel some kind of way, get it in there. I was in the military in my earlier years. I spent 9 years there. I was a hospital corpsman for the Navy, and then I transferred over to the Air Force to do medic. And then I continued my career as a civilian, as an RN. So now it's been 20 years as a nurse, and I absolutely love being at the bedside, caring for people who are, of course, I would say less fortunate than us, who have the ability to be a little healthier, I would say. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm originally from California, but I live now in Atlanta, Georgia.
All right. So I have a million questions. All right. So we're going to just take a pause. We're going to drive around this a little bit because, oh my God, Alicia, your life is exciting. Very exciting. All right. So right off the bat, 20 years from after you left the military, you've been a nurse? Is that what you're counting? Or are you counting the medic and whatever you did before you were a medic? I forgot what the title was.
Yeah. So I started out in the Navy as a hospital corpsman.
Hospital corpsman.
Okay. And that was I joined the military back in 1995, and I got my corpsman title around, it was about 97 that I got it. So I started there with my military background, with my medical background there. And then I got my nursing, I was an LVN before I became an RN. So I got that in the year 2000. So I really do count my nursing from that, not really counting my military background. So you could say a little bit over that I've been in healthcare, a little bit over 20 years. But as a nurse, it's been 20 years.
Okay, so fantastic. When you were in the Navy versus being a medic, explain what the difference is between being a nurse and being a medic in the military. Because in my head, being a medic is being a nurse just in the military, but it seems like it's not.
Yes. So in the military, it's more like there's a situation and you jump in and do it. You just, it's like team effort. Everyone just jumps in, does their part to save or the person or to do whatever it is we're trying to get done together. The civilian side, it's more like you need your title. You need your degree. You need your certification.
Don't you know? Don't you need? Yes, you do. That nursing school is a bitch. Listen, I agree. I understand. Did you enjoy it though? Did you like it? Is that something?
I did. I really did. I enjoyed it to the max. I did a lot of traveling during that time. And I think the part about traveling, it isn't so much just traveling and seeing the world, but it was more of, I got to see how other countries live. I was able to understand, like, get a different perspective of the way that we see things here in America versus people like in the Middle East or in Europe. So I think that's the thing that I value the most, that I got to experience people's lives and actually be amongst them and just gain a different perspective and appreciate everything that we have here in America.
That's wonderful. See, and that's the thing. Look, listen, like so like that patriotic, nationalism side of me that says America's the best. Like, I love that, right? Of course, yeah. You put your chest out there and brag a little bit. But the thing I love about the people, like, thank you first of all for serving. But the thing I love about what you guys do is because you guys are so modest about it. I would be bragging out the wazoo. First of all, where did you go? I mean, you protected this country. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you didn't do, but you traveled, so you were obviously overseas. Where did you go while you were a medic? Like, what was the lifestyle like as a military person back in the day? Well,
I will tell you that when I first got to boot camp, I was in tears and I was thinking, what did I get myself into? I had just turned 18 years old and I thought, oh my goodness, I think I want to go home.
Jesus Lord.
But after a while, I think midway, you kind of start to realize how they're training you to have that mental strength, because you never really know what you're going to expose yourself to or what you're going to see. And you need to be not just physically strong, but you need to be mentally strong and ready. So I think that's now I understand why all the chaos and all the crazy drills we had to do. It's just that they were preparing us for that. So I traveled after 9/11. I was in the Middle East. So that was, to me, it was a beautiful experience. I met people that I never thought I would really be able to connect with here in America. Also, you build close relationships because it was during a time where there was a lot of, it had just happened right after 9/11. So everybody was kind of on the edge. Like, we didn't know, like, really what was going on. But out there, it was like, it created that, not just that we were all there with the military, but it created a stronger bond with everybody. So we knew that everyone had each other's backs and we were all there. I mean, we were a strong unit while we were there.
Oh, I love that.
I still keep in touch with a lot of those people. So
that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I think that's absolutely amazing. So then, as soon as you were done with the military, you just jumped into nursing. And then, just real quick, what kind of nursing have you been doing? What kind of nursing have you done? Where are you now? What are your future plans? Like regular nursing, like 9 to 5 or 7 to 7. What are you doing these days?
So these days, I've done a little bit of nursing in different areas. Like, I've done home health. I've done outpatient imaging. I've done the office work, and that really wasn't for me. I was like, no, I have to get out. I need to be with people. I need to be at the bedside, So I did that. Also, right now, currently, I'm doing acute care med surg for our local hospital. And I've also done mental health, behavioral health.
So, do you have a favorite? Is where you are right now where you're the most happiest as a nurse? Like, is there like a go-to for you?
Well, right now, I do like. I'm still in acute care nursing, med surg, and I float all over the different floors. So I'm not stuck in one area. I get to see a lot of different things from different units. So I do like that because I'm constantly learning. And I'm exposed to a lot of different areas. So I know that when I go to work, I'm not going to be seeing the same thing every day.
Of course. So
I'm a lifelong learner, definitely. I love to learn. So that actually takes me to where my future nursing is taking me to. I'm actually in the middle of transitioning into a holistic practitioner. So to get over to the holistic side of things.
That's actually really cool. So we're going to jump into that in a hot second, but God damn it, 20 years of nursing and you're still learning? I thought I was going to be done learning in a hot second. When does this learning fucking end? Okay. I'm kidding. Obviously, it's part of the job. All right, I got it. So let's just talk. So you said holistic. Perfect transition, okay? Because you sent me the goodie package that I mentioned in the beginning. Alicia sent me this goodie package with a bunch of these. I'm going to just put it up on the screen right here. A bunch of these, what's it called? Essential oils, right? I was very confused, right? All I know about essential oil is the stuff I see out there on the TV, in public, at the stores. So I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know nothing, right? So I was like, Alicia, look, you got to come on the show. You got to talk to me about this. Walk me through the process, okay? So, but before we get into the deets, this was a care package you sent to me. Is this something that you're sending to other people, or am I just special? Because, goddamn it, I know
you are special. You are very special. Because when I started watching all of your nurse videos, I was like, wow, this is so cool. Like nurses, I mean, we rock the world. Yes. You know, there is no other field. I'm sorry, with all due respect, but there is no other field that I believe rocks the world. And especially nowadays, I'm like, you know, without nurses. I'm sorry, but things
would be a crazy place. Yes.
So,
go ahead.
This package was, I was participating in a Engage in Good. And because we were in the middle of a pandemic, so these packages were put together for frontline healthcare responders to the COVID-19. So because I, as myself also, you know, I know how we can get overwhelmed, stressed, maybe have some anxious feelings. You know, it's a big, huge package that we also struggle with. But we have to show up for everybody else as well as ourselves. So these are things that I personally use myself to keep myself together. So I wanted to engage in this project and say, you know what, I know that I'm not the only one. And my fellow nurses need this just as much as I do. So I started reaching out to nurses that were in the middle of all of this, and I wanted to do something special for them.
You're a fucking amazing human being. Okay, so let me get that out the way because I need to say it. But with that being said, so let's start from the base, from the foundation, from the basement. I need to know. In your best way, how would you describe what essential oils are? Like, what is it? Go ahead. What are essential oils?
So essential oils, the main thing that I want to get across when I present essential oils to someone is I want to bring awareness to people that there is something that we can use to support ourselves in the middle of whatever it is we're going through. So obviously we can't go to work under the influence of something. But when you're using something that's alternative, it's natural, it's effective, and it's safe, it supports your physical health and your emotional health so that you're able to be, you could say stronger to continue to do what it is that you have to do when you show up for work. And not just for work, but just on a daily basis of life.
So how long have you been using essential oils? And I want to know the specific situations or, so how long have you been using them? And then on top of that, when and how do you use essential oils?
Okay. So I've been using essential oils for 6 years now. And believe it or not, it actually started out through a health crisis.
Surprise.
It started out with through a health crisis. I have 2 sons. So one of them, we were dealing with a lot of health issues. And with mainstream medicine, we struggled. We struggled with trying to keep a balance with his overall well-being. And of course, as a mom, it was affecting me. So I felt like I was in a desperate place to where I was looking for something, but I didn't know what I was looking for. And their essential oils came across. So I said, I started getting more interested in what is this? And is this real? Does this really work? I'm a nurse. How come I don't know about these? So I started just digging into the research. And the more I learned, the more I became, you could say, obsessed with learning more. And I started using them for myself. And I saw the benefits. And that's what really triggered me to think, if I didn't know about this and I'm in healthcare, like, how come other people don't know? Like, they should know.
Yes.
So that's really one of my biggest things. Like, I want to bring awareness. I've been using them for 6 years now.
Okay. So you personally, first of all, I am really sorry about your son. I hope he's doing better today.
He's doing amazing. He's doing amazing now.
Congratulations. But so I want to know, how do you use them, right? Because when I got the package, I saw it. The only thing I understand how to use is the antiseptic spray. I'm like, oh, I know how this works. I know how the antiseptic spray works. But outside of that, so going online, I saw you can use it aromatherapy wise, just for some good scents in the air. You could put it on your actual skin. You could put it in your tea, in your water. I'm confused as to how to go about using it, when I should use it in a specific way. Do you have any instructions, any details that you could help me with?
Definitely. And one key thing is also, like you said, essential oils, they're everywhere. It's like the style, the fad that's out there right now. They're everywhere. But it is very important for people to get educated on how to use them. Because if I tell you, oh, you can drink this lemon in your water, and someone goes to Home Depot or Walmart and buys a bottle of lemon and tries to drink that, that is not the same quality of lemon essential oil that I am speaking about. So education is huge when it comes to the usage of essential oils. And I'll give you the example of, the lemon we were talking about.
Yep.
So, lemon could be used topical. So lemon, anything citrusy, which is like lemon, deals with the uplifting of the mood. Mm-hmm. So if you're feeling a little discouraged, cranky, maybe overwhelmed, then you could use this internal. It actually tells you on the bottle supplemental facts. So if it says supplemental facts, you know that this is something that you could actually use internal. And the bottle that you have does say supplemental facts.
Perfect.
Now, this is only doTERRA essential oils that I'm speaking of, the brand. Now, you would need to use a glass or a stainless steel cup. You cannot use paper, foam, or plastic because of the fact that contains chemicals. And because the oil is so strong, it'll actually pull chemicals from that plastic and you'll be drinking that. So you don't want that.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Yes. So if you do choose to use the lemon internal, then you do want to use a glass or stainless steel cup. Now, on the bottle also, it tells you that you can use 1 drop for every 4 ounces of liquid. So you may think 1 drop is not very much, but it's a lot of oil. So the doTERRA oils are known for their quality, which is their potency and their purity. They're very pure. There's no fillers in here, but they are very strong.
When you first started with these essential oils, because I'm a nurse. All I do deal with every single day are meds. I mean, we do trial research studies and all of these things. And sometimes we have patients come in and we have a med that we give to every fucking body, but it doesn't work on a patient. And we're like, why is this here? Why are we even trying it? Right. So how long in using essential oils did you feel like this is making a difference in my life or in my family's life or in the people like my friend's life? How long were you using it before you saw a difference, before you felt better? And then after you started to feel better, is it a consistent thing or do you use it only when bad things happen?
Okay, that's a great point and a great question. So, with medication, we use it we use it all the time. Now, with natural things and such as like the oils, now we're not curing anything with this. We're not treating any diseases. So what we do is we are only supporting our body, our systems. So our physical health, our emotional health. So if you think about it, on a daily basis, we're dealing with stress. On a daily basis, we deal with inflammation. So every day you are supporting your body. So it's like you're just kind of giving it a little lift every day. So like your lemon oil would be something that you drink every day. in your water, and you use it, you drink it on a daily basis to uplift your mood. Also, like the lemon helps to purify and detoxify. So it's cleansing it's supporting your system by cleansing and purifying on a daily basis. So we don't wait until a crisis hits, because then you're like, it took me 3 years for my body to get here. Now I want it fixed like this. So that's the difference between like medicine and alternatives. Alternatives take longer, but we have to just keep that in mind. It didn't take our bodies overnight to get somewhere.
Yes. So the consistency is important. And so when you started to use it, how long did it take before you felt the effects? How long did it take before you felt, holy shit, this might be a real thing?
Well, let me share a brief story.
Please.
So when we used to go to work, I used to get, of course, med surg. Sometimes you have 6, 7 patients.
Yes.
Or we can get up to that many.
Oh yeah.
So I would get overwhelmed because I couldn't be at all places at one time. I would get anxious, and I just kind of felt like, I just want to curl into a little ball and just run away. Disappear. So I would get very overwhelmed to the point to where I had to step away, go into the bathroom, and it would take me a minute to get myself together. That's just the honest truth. And I know that I'm not the only one.
Right there with you, girl.
Yeah. So when I started using essential oils, I looked up oils that were good for mood, for anxious feelings, for overwhelm, for stress, and I was mixing everything.
Oh.
I need this. And I started using it every day on the back of my neck, over my heart, my wrists. And one day I was at work, not very long after that, I would say maybe 2 weeks after that, I was at work. And I remember I was being pulled in 10 different directions. And I caught myself for a moment, and I thought, wow, I feel grounded. I feel like I can do this. And at that moment, I thought, what has been different? Like, I am still doing everything the same. And I thought, could the oils really be doing this for me? And that's when it's like I grew a stronger bond with those oils. And I thought, I think these are doing something for me. I need to continue doing this.
Yes. And I love that because look, listen, when it comes to physical ailments, it's super easy to be like, okay, this works, this doesn't, right? When it comes to, like you were saying, the stress, the discomfort, the upsetting feelings, the pressure, all of these things, the anxiety when you're at work, it's hard to tell because it's such a hit or miss thing. And one day you have a good day, one day you have a shitty day, one day you have the best patients, one day you have the worst patients in the world, right? So for you to have that grounding feeling on a really shitty day like that after using the oils, it is nice to hear, but I have to ask. Just like, when people do the evidence-based studies and the research, the placebo effect, have you ever, since starting the oils, stopped taking them and felt a difference? Or have you just been super consistent and now you're a new version of yourself? Like, it's really hard because it's something that I feel like on good days and bad days, it's up in the air. So how have you noticed a difference? Have you ever stopped and been like, I need to get back on it? Like, how have you done that?
Well, I have, I use it consistently every single day. I have something that I do. Like I put it in my water, or I use it in my kitchen to cook with, or I use it on myself. Like before we started the interview, I have one for overwhelm and stress, and I was like, so calm, and I take this to work with me. So I use it consistently, but when I don't use my oils, I do notice like if I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm feeling like an anxious feeling is coming on, then I do grab for that bottle and I put it on. So to me now, it's kind of become like a part of me because I don't want to feel that way. So
I have to ask, we're nurses. Any negative effects that we should be aware of? Adverse effects, reactions, bad situations? Is there something that we should be aware of? Obviously, if we're using it right and not chugging it straight from the bottle.
Absolutely not. Because these oils, they benefit you, your physical health. And it's like, instead of having side effects, they have side benefits, because they're benefiting like your physical health, but your emotional health. Or if you're using them for your emotional health, you get, side benefits that are helping you with other things that may be going on by just supporting you overall.
I've never heard that, but Alicia, I'm going to steal that shit. Okay. Side benefits. I'm going to use that. Side benefits is a win. A minute, girl. A minute. Okay.
And not just that, but there's a lot of, I have tons of like research books, because I was that way. I need to know like evidence. In the beginning, it took me some time to really want to share with people about these things, because I wanted to make sure that I had something to back up what I was saying. Or that I knew for sure, has this been tested and has it been proven, and not just like a placebo effect.
Yes.
But what happened? Like, what happened to all of these studies? So before I actually, had the courage to go out there and share, I had that secret moment where I was like, okay, I need to know first.
I love it. She's a nurse, you guys. She's a nurse. Trust me, she's a nurse. You did said right off the bat that you use it on your son, or your son was using some of the essential oils. So I have to ask, straight, plain and clear, is it safe for kids?
Yes. Okay. So these oils are absolutely safe from birth all the way through the end of life.
That's awesome. That was nice and easy answer, and that's all you need to hear, baby. So listen, essential oils versus healthcare. You just told me that you were thinking about going into holistic nursing or holistic care. I am a little, I don't want to say worried, but like, I feel like essential oils, CBD, these like alternative like therapy type things is a gateway supplement, oil, whatever, into becoming an anti-vaxxer. Where do you draw the line between I'm going to use alternatives versus, okay, it's time to go see a doctor, it's time to go see a nurse? And you're the perfect person to ask, because your day-to-day job is nursing and you use essential oils daily. So how do you balance that? I need like real hardcore nursing versus let's see how these essential oils make me feel.
Well, definitely, I tell people, if you're having a heart attack, if you're in crisis, if you've broken a leg, don't come see me. Please don't. Go to the hospital and get the medical attention that you need. So I believe that, medicine has its time and place. So of course I am not I'm in that field, and I've been in that field for 20 years. So I'm definitely not anti anything medical, but I do believe that education plays a big, huge part. It's being educated, because you can't just take someone's word and say, well, they said that I shouldn't do this, or then I should do this. But, well, no, you're giving up all of your power to someone who you don't really know where they're getting their information from. So, so I believe education is a huge, huge part. And also what the person feels is best for their well-being. So if they've tried, for my son's example, if we've tried absolutely everything and nothing was working, then I kind of felt like, well, maybe there's something else. And, we started kind of, doing that trial and error. Well, let's see what let's incorporate this, and let's change this, and let's add this. And I can tell you that nutrition had a huge part to play in that. So, there was some things that were lacking, and we were able to fix those. And within 3 months, he was doing amazing, to where now, awesome. Things are great. But that's why now I'm like, okay, no, now this is our lifestyle. This is what we do. Yes, I do take my kids for well checkups every year with their primary care physician, with their pediatrician, because I do believe that, there's such a thing as integrative care. So you can't just, oh, no, I'm never going into a hospital, or no, I'm never going to use oils. Well, what about if you start to combine the two? Maybe you could be supported in a better way, and your health can actually benefit from integrative care.
I love that. And you took the words right out of my mouth, but I wanted to ask you specifically, do you see a world, can you imagine a world where essential oils are part of nursing's care plan, are a list on, the doctor's med orders or just treatment plans for therapists. Like, do you see that happening? Like, is that a possibility? And would you like that to happen?
I would love for that to happen. And let me just tell you why. Because, working in acute care and floating to different departments, you do get to see different patients from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different nationalities, and you do get those patients who say, for example, they're in pain. I'm just going to use pain as an example, but they're afraid to take that pain medication, or they're just maybe it's against their beliefs that they start on any of this. So, if you had the option of, okay, well, this patient is dealing with some discomforts and they're refusing the pain medication. Well, what about if we offer them something that could be used, such as aromatherapy, to ease their discomforts, and they're more receptive of that? I'm not saying that everyone will be receptive of it, but at least we can give them options. And that's what I strongly believe in. Let's give our people options and let them choose for themselves as we educate them.
Yes. Look, listen, for those nurses and for those healthcare providers out there, like, when you go into the hospital, we push all the meds for all the symptoms and all the side effects that happen with the meds that we push more meds to fix those symptoms, and so on and so on and so on, until people are on a list of 36 medications, and only 3 of them are taking care of the actual diseases that they have, but the rest are taking care of the symptoms and the side effects that they get from the medications that they're taking. It's insane, but you know exactly what I'm talking about if you work in healthcare, right? So yes, of course. Look, listen, I know nothing about this world. Yesterday, I tried to meditate. What the fuck is meditating, right? Listen, I'm telling you. So all of these things are out there. Like, we don't know. But I love that you said that. You want to give people options, but the key to those options is education, right? Because all these patients, all these people, I don't want to say all, a lot, the vast majority of patients and people that come into the hospital are ignorant to the healthcare world. They don't know the difference between the medications. Well, what are you talking about? I don't know. Just give me something so I can feel better. So if you give them the options and you educate them on what they're taking and how they're taking and what this does and what this doesn't do, if they decide, let me try some aromatherapy with some essential oils, let me try something alternative versus the oxycodone that's going to get me addicted and have me shooting heroin in a couple of months, right? Give them that option. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Like I said, not everyone may say yes to it, but at least those that are saying, no, I'm afraid of taking those pills, or maybe I just, because of my religious beliefs or whatever kind of beliefs they have or thinking, if they say no, I'd rather not. Or maybe they've been through a previous addiction. I've had patients like that where they've had previous addictions and they say, no, I'd rather be in pain than not take anything else. So, you see them in pain and it's like, well, what do you do?
Exactly.
What do you do?
Exactly.
So, aromatherapy, there's researches that have been done with even such as just lavender. By the inhalation of lavender, it reduces the need for opioids. So there's a research on that and study and evidence-based. So,
and nursing school, evidence-based practice. You live and die. You live and die.
Evidence-based practice. Here it is.
Exactly. And I know you mentioned this on the side, but we are nurses, and I make these videos for nurses specifically, and healthcare providers as a whole. But can you give me I want some specific examples. So if there's a nurse or a healthcare provider out there listening right now, what is a specific essential oil that they can use to improve their day to day, right? And how should they use that specific essential oil? If you could give me at least one example.
Okay. Well, the orange is a really good one to help with to ease any anxious feelings. So the orange, and even if they don't feel comfortable with using doTERRA essential oils internal, that's completely okay. They could use it actually by inhaling the oil. So they could apply a drop to the palm of their hands, rub their hands together, and just inhale the oil. Or if they have a diffuser, they could put some tap water in there, put 2 to 3 drops of the essential oil, and turn it on. And then that way they're inhaling.
It's like vaporizing it.
Yeah, and the aromatherapy that they're getting. So just, the fact that I mentioned using them internal earlier, it doesn't mean that that's the only way or that's how they need to do it, because they may not be comfortable with that, but they have other options. So they have the aromatic way, or if they wanted to apply it, then they could actually apply oils, say to the back of their neck or over their heart, or even just on their wrist, and then they could smell it from here.
That's awesome. Have you had any patients at all use essential oils? Have you been in a healthcare facility that uses essential? Have you seen it in practice at a 21st century healthcare facility? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh. You weren't expecting that one, right?
No, I was not. So
about a year and a half ago, I was given the opportunity to do a study on a floor, on a post-op floor, and we specifically used essential oils that ease any nauseous feelings or any pain. Reduces pain. So we use lavender for that, and we used ginger for the nauseous feelings, and we actually had really good results with that.
That's awesome.
So that's one study that I actually got to participate in. So that was my personal experience. Now, every year I do attend a conference. Well, this year is probably not. It's not going to happen. Period. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I do attend a conference where there's hundreds and thousands of nurses and healthcare professionals where we get together and we learn about the evidence-based research. We learn about the projects that other nurses are working on. So it's we're not just hearing about them, but it's us actually doing these studies and
yes.
talking with each other about them and the results. So that's another one. And there's a lot of other nurses and physicians that are choosing to introduce these options and say, hey, look, we have something good. Why don't we offer this too? So
look, listen, and when you get into the medical field, it's so easy. It's super easy to get just super narrow-minded and being it's meds or nothing. It's surgery or nothing. It's the big guns or nothing. When I really do think that what you guys are doing, what you specifically, Alicia, are doing is super important. It frustrates me when I have patients come in and they tell me things like, I can't take that med. It makes me, it changes the zen of my vibes, my personal. I'm like, fuck you and fuck all of that, right? Do you want to feel better or not? But at the same time, we really do need to be a lot more open-minded about these things. Because like I said, I was trying to meditate yesterday, and benefits or no benefits, I felt better afterwards. So what, if I don't understand how it works, it doesn't matter as long as it works, right? And it sounds like the research is coming out so we can actually understand how these essential oils work. But at the same time, if it works, it works. And if it's the patient's choice, it's the patient's choice, right? And at the end of the day, that's what matters. We're trying to take care of the patients. And if they're happy at the end of the day, good for them. And we got to take care of ourselves too. And if it works for us, it works for us. It works for us. You said you like to do your research. You said when you were getting into this, you did a lot of your research. Where did you look for research? Where, if someone's confused and they're saying, oh my goodness, I think I want to try it. I don't know if I should try it. Does it actually work? Is it real? Should I listen to this guy who's talking? Where do you have specific books, websites, research studies, anything that you can send people to that they can read up on this stuff?
I do. I have several books that I use, and they're written by doctors. So it's not always a holistic person's approach, but it's also medical doctors. So that the research they've seen, that they've done, and then they put it all together for other people to come after and read. So I don't just have one book. I have several books that I go through, and every time someone asks me something, I go through and I'm like, okay, here's what it says, and here's the, if you want to go back and read it for yourself.
Of course.
PubMed is also another place that has a lot of information and a lot of, just studies that they've done. So that's another one that they could easily find online.
So just do me a favor. At the end of this, just text me a couple of those books, and then I'll put it on the screen. I'll just show like a picture, or at least have the title up, just so people have an idea. Oh, and I'll put the links in the description box below, so at least people have an idea. Because I know, I'm talking specifically from my perspective. It's hard for me to believe in these things, right? When I go to a store and I see essential oils in the cabinet, and then someone tells me that this is something that could help change my life, and it's sitting right next to the Snickers bar, I'm like, I don't know. It's right next to the Snickers, and Snickers ain't doing much for me, right? So if you just send me some of these things so people could look it up themselves and get some education on themselves, I think it would be fantastic. Before we move on to the end of the interview, can I just go ahead?
Just remember that the quality does matter of your essential oils. So the essential oils sitting right there next to the Snickers bars, they're not going to cut it. That's part of the education.
I hear you. No, you're right. You're right. You're 1,000% right. You're 1,000% right. Right. What's it called? So before we move on to the end of the interview, where can people find you specifically? Insta, Facebook, email. How do you want people to reach out to you if they want to ask Alicia specific questions about essential oils?
So I can be found in Instagram under alicia.the.essential.nurse. I had to put all those dots in there because I couldn't find something that would fit my name. But it's Alicia the Essential Nurse. So that's the easiest way to find me.
For those who are watching, it's going to be on the screen. And for those who are just listening, it's going to be in the description box. You go ahead and click. Listen, I always say this only when it is true, right? When Alicia and I was talking, it was in the DMs on Instagram. So if you have a question, you slide into her DMs. She's going to answer you. That's just how it works. If she didn't answer my DM, I'm not going to lie to you. So the truth is, she's there. She will answer you. She will communicate with you. So please click in the link below. Check it out on the screen. Go find her on Insta, Facebook, wherever the hell you find her, and ask her all the questions in the world. Alicia, thank you so much for all of the time you've given me today. I really do appreciate it. Seriously, I really do. And I say this it's just, this is a different world for me. This is like an entirely different world. So I love the fact that you're willing to share so much. So this is the section, ladies and gentlemen. Nurses are human too. Okay. Before Alicia decided to join the army, the military, before she decided to get into essential oils, before she decided to be a nurse, she was a human being. So I'm going to talk to Alicia like she is a human being. Alicia, first and foremost, how have you and the family been dealing with this COVID situation?
I like how you put it. I might have to use that line.
Well, I got you.
Well, we're doing well. Thankfully, we're doing well. I've continued to work. The month of April was, I think, the hardest, the most overwhelming, not the hardest, but the most overwhelming, because there was a lot of changes happening at once, and changes were happening from 1 minute to the next. And we were having to wear all this gear, and it was just not one room, but it was every room. Yeah. So it was very overwhelming. Yes, I'm not going to lie. I came home and several times I just had to just sit down and kind of catch my breath and think like, what's happening? What, is this really happening? And sit down and talk to my husband about the whole situation and vent to him basically. But other than that, now things have slowed down a lot. We don't have a lot of patients in the hospital, which is very surprising. I think it's everywhere right now. I don't know if patients are just afraid to go to the hospital, but things have really slowed down here for us at work. And my family, thankfully, we are doing well. My husband, my 2 children, and I were doing very well.
Anyone in your inner circle get the COVID?
I did have an uncle. He was in California and he was affected by the COVID, and unfortunately he didn't make it through.
I'm so sorry.
So we were affected by, a close family member. But I think the thing, and he was 93 years old, so I understand he was older. He lived a long life, and his life he lived a long life.
Yes.
So I'm okay with that. I think the circumstances are what made it really difficult. The fact that, we couldn't be there at the bedside, that he was there, my cousins were able to see him through a screen, through Skype, so I think that was the hardest part, just not being able to be there, even though we are also, because his son is also a nurse, we weren't able to be there. I think that's the part that I have a hard time with, just knowing my uncle was there. He wasn't alone because he had some amazing nurses at his bedside, but that family couldn't be there.
That's hard. No, and listen, I've been on a COVID floor. I've been taking care of a ton of COVID patients. And, when you have a death, you're in a hospital. It's part of the job. But most of the time prior to this pandemic, family would be there, right? They would be there all the way up until the end. They would stay there a little bit after, right? They would have a little bit of closure. I'm not going to say all of it because obviously a death is a death is a death. But that's probably been the craziest and most difficult thing for me as a nurse to get used to, and obviously the people who are involved. When you're not able to say goodbye to someone in person, knowing that they're on their way out, it like rips you apart. You see like family members like crying and tears, and they want to come. Can I come, please? Can I please? I'll get in the whole gown and suit, and you have to say no as a nurse, and it hurts to say, and you hate to do it, and you're having these Zoom and Skype calls with everyone, FaceTime. Thank God for our technology, but it was and is currently still a really shitty thing that family members and patients obviously have to go through. So dealing with all of this craziness, okay? How have you been dealing with all of this craziness outside of the essential oils, outside of nursing? What does Alicia do for Alicia, right, when things get rough? Are you a runner? Do you just sit on the couch and watch TV for days? Do you eat ice cream? How do you let loose?
I do yoga. You probably could have guessed my answer, right?
You probably could have guessed that. That was top three.
Years ago, I used to run. And as I get older, I just feel like, okay, I need to slow down. But I do yoga. And it does, I think because we're so stimulated at work and in life, we're so overstimulated with everything that when I walk away from everything and I just shut everything out and I take that moment to just breathe, just focus on breathing and stretching. It really helps to clear that mind off of everything and bring my mind just to a still place so that I could re-energize and come back out into the real world. How
often are you doing yoga?
I was doing it every day before COVID came down. I used to go to a hot yoga studio. And then when everything shut down, I was like, it'll open just a little bit. So I'm back to doing my yoga and I do it every day. I do go outside and I do at least 30 to 40 minutes.
That's amazing. God damn it, Alicia, how long did it take you to figure out how to be a functional human being? Because I'm over here on my days off just bumming it hardcore. Listen, good for you.
But trust me, sometimes I just want to just go to sleep and not do anything. Right. But when I've done that, I don't feel great afterwards. So I have to remind myself, no, that's not what makes you feel good. Right. Get outside, stretch. And when I'm done with that, I feel great. I'm like, oh, wow, I did something for myself where I shut everything out and it was just me. And it's like, I call it me time, be selfish for 30 minutes.
Please and thank you.
That's it. Because we give so much of ourselves, right. And if we don't take that time, whatever it is that you like to do, if we don't give ourselves that little bit of love, then I think that's where burnout tends to come in because we give.
Last question before we close this in the interview. Because obviously, so you have your 30 or 40 minutes outside if you're doing your yoga on the daily. could I ask, what have you and the family, or just you specifically, what have you been watching? What have you been binging? I mean, you have to be doing some, laissez-faire type activities. Is there anything that you've been watching, Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, whatever, that podcasts, audiobooks, anything that you've been doing recently that has just, caught your attention and that you enjoy?
Well, with my family, we go outside and we spend time, not all the time, but we go outside and just kind of walk, and because everything's shut down right now, so we really can't go anywhere. I'm not much of a TV person. My husband and my kids are. They tell you about every show and every movie that's out. But honestly, I sometimes I feel guilty about this because I'm like, oh, I should be watching this with them. And I do. I'll sit down to watch some shows with them. Like the other day, we were watching a show called Game Changers. Okay. So I sat down and I watched that with them. But a lot of times, honestly, you will find me reading.
Okay. Anything specific that you've been reading? Any specific author that you're obsessed with? Anything?
No, just anything that's motivational, anything that's inspirational. I pick it up and I like to read.
Alicia, look, listen. You need to give me the step-by-step guide so I can become you one day. Jesus fucking Christ. I feel like a bum talking to you. I feel like a bum. Listen, I love it. Alicia, thank you so much for coming through. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, all the links are going to be in the description box below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, if you or anyone you think would want to know any details specific about essential oils, you share this video with them. And then on top of that, let them know where they can get in touch with Alicia. Alicia, thank you very much. Everybody else, hugs and kisses. Catch you in the flip. Deuces.
Thank you so much for this opportunity and this time.
Of course, Alicia, this is what I'm here for.